All right, click the links for Odyssey, Bit Chute, join channel, become a valued member, or support channel Coffee Crypto. Subscribe to the various other links. Join the Telegram. Telegram is friggin' wild. It is huge. It's like I didn't realize there's so many based people out there. It turns out they're all on Telegram. I mean, there are just thousands and thousands. In fact, there are more channels to subscribe to than you could possibly subscribe to. Telegram is like it's like an iceberg. It's not really in the popular culture so much, I think, because it has so much power behind it. There's a lot of very upset people out there, and you can find a lot of them on Telegram who are openly expressing themselves, which is good. It's supposed to have platforms with free speech, and for some reason the mainstream is terrified by that. Anyway, the Mary Sue, I don't know how they make money. I can only assume there's tax evasion. Somehow something is wrong with the Mary Sue. The numbers don't seem to add up. They couldn't possibly, the ads couldn't possibly be this big because the articles are mostly they're not like Gawker level back in 2015, but there's not much to them to say like, oh, you guys employ a dozen people. Is this all part-time gigs for everyone? I'm not sure how that works out, but something's not adding up with that. So when I read these examples, this Mary Sue girl included, I laughed out loud. It's like, it's a comedy show. It's a stand-up. You kind of knew what you're getting into. There's, you saw those blue-haired people who went to the Dave Chappelle show. It's like, what did you expect? You sat in the front row. You paid $500 for tickets, if not more. What did you expect? I have no idea what comedy shows cost. To sit close like that would probably be a lot. It's like, what did you expect? Oh, anyway, so the Mary Sue goes, oh, white men keep getting away with it. Yeah, white men like Dave Chappelle. Yeah, those white guys don't get. It's weird how those white guys like Dave Chappelle or even Kevin Hart don't get canceled. Strange. Oh no, it's like you just don't want to address Dave Chappelle. It's only Louis C.K. Who, to be fair, is, a little bit of a filthy degenerate. I kind of know that now, like after I looked into it a little bit. But he triggers SJWs, so it's really weird to take, kind of have to take the side of the SJWs on this. It feels very uncomfortable. I feel dirty. was that, do you ever feel not so fresh down there? Oh dear God, no. So from Weinstein and Louis C.K. and Dave Chappelle, the far alt left, extreme left, they always use those prefixes when they talk about the right, but never when they talk about the left. It almost makes me feel like these people are all biased. They really do love cancel culture. It's accountability culture, bigot. Well, you're gonna be left with nothing. And it's like, is that the way you want it? Yeah, ultimately, it's like what they do to comics is what they're doing to, comic books is what they're doing to movies now. They destroyed individual comic books and then finally the comic book industry. And now they're starting to do it to movies. And I always thought comic books were one thing because a comic book is like, it's like a couple $100,000 investment per year for a mainstream comic. It's just not the same level of money where movies are orders of magnitude larger, but they're coming for movies. You saw the Eternals, or you probably didn't see the Eternals, or you might have seen a few minutes of the Eternals. Like one of the things that triggered people was the opening scene of the Eternals. I wasn't even paying attention. I saw about half that, and it was too much. The opening scene of the Eternals, they're showing some landscape from a certain time period, and like the historians on Twitter are going like, "Oh yeah, that was hugely populated, this area, this, I don't know, Mesopotamia or something." It was like, yeah, it was teeming with cities and development. That's why you're setting the thing there. It's like this overfly. Something triggered people anyway. But they're doing it with movies. Like movies are getting woke. They floated some trial balloons, and it's like those trial balloons all bombed. Like all the from Ghostbusters 2016 to the Star Wars trilogy, that it didn't bomb, but it underperformed. But then the one that came after it, Solo, that was a bomb. And then you got Eternals, and then you got the X-Men and Charlie's Angels, Terminator, and there were a couple others. Even Suicide Squad Part 2, Shang-Chi, the G.I. Joe, Snake Eyes movie. Like there's a whole string of woke-ish and woke movies that came out and bombed. And it's like, oh, so they learned their lesson, right? No, they didn't. They know the movies are bombing. They're going to keep making them until the kids just accept them. Like, yes, they'll lose the older audience, but they'll get the younger audience, which is really insidious of these people. They're just really the worst people on earth. It's really a challenge to discuss them on YouTube. Anyway, so white guys like Dave Chappelle, it really kind of shows your bias when you it's like these people, they just hate people of European descent. There's kind of no other way. There's no nice way to put that. So Louis C.K., he's not at the Weinstein or Epstein level. It's like he breached the social contract. He was self-enjoying himself with an audience, which a bit unusual, but there's a spectrum of weirdness. It's like that's pretty mild. I mean, the thing is, you would have been. I can't quite wrap my head around that. I mean, other than like just you want to do something unusually kinky, that's okay, but like he could have just asked them, hey, come back to the hotel room, I want to have sex tonight. They would have said yes or no, but I don't think there would have been the same uproar, maybe. And the thing is, he used to do it in front of Sarah Silverman. She didn't think it was a big deal, or maybe she enjoyed it. People are wired differently. There's a little voyeur in a lot of people. Anyway, but she's a big star, so the power disparity isn't there between the two of them. But he was inviting like new, younger comics to his room, and I get that now. I understand like the price of admission is to watch that, and there might it's like you're getting a closer relationship with this person who's got a lot of contacts. That's what makes it so kind of a scummy thing to do. So the thing is, America now is just a commercial zone. There are no standards. There's no moral enforcement. There's not going to be some religious overlord though the SJWs is like they killed religion and they just immediately replaced religion with Bolshevism. The thing is, there's only the legal system for redress of grievance. So as, it's kind of a meeting of different cultures and different standards. And how do you say like what standard is to apply when there really is none? And Hollywood has no standards. Hollywood is Epstein, Weinstein. You've seen the stuff they do, those cooking things where, it's a little bit of eyes wide shut, a little bit of nonsense, but it's probably a lot of cocaine. But like Epstein wasn't imaginary. Epstein, Weinstein weren't hallucinations. They really were doing that stuff. They really were flying to an island. And like even the building on that island, that's pretty weird. It's strange that it didn't get more media coverage. Epstein offs himself. Plot twist, no, he didn't. In a prison cell. And then the other guy, his partner in France, also offs himself. So if you're just Ghislaine Maxwell, it's weird that the story in general is not getting, and the people on the right are trying to focus on it. And the people on the left go, oh, it's just that alphabet thing, that Q thing. Yeah, that was just a Mossad op. Come on, MAGA sometimes is just as naive as anything else. But they go, oh, that pizza stuff. Oh, it's a lot of hot words for YouTube. They go, oh, that's just conspiracy theory. It's like, yeah, but Epstein Weinstein is not a conspiracy theory. We didn't make those people up. That actually happened. That Podesta and the Scott Wiener, the Anthony Weiner guys, Maria Abramovic and Alan Dershowitz flying to that island. It's like, that all happened. I'm not saying it's exactly like Eyes Wide Shut, but there were people that actually did that. It's weird you hold a trial for Ghislaine. I'm getting way off topic, but you hold a trial for Ghislaine Maxwell. And it's like, so she was a part of this group that engaged in these illegal acts. So where are the other people she was a facilitator, but where are the other people who are, why are you asking that question? Because it's a conspiracy to commit crime. It's this massive crime. It's a group of people coming together for the purpose of illegal acts. Why wouldn't you? Oh, well, we don't need to talk about that. It seems weird that the media is not more interested in that. Media is not more interested in that because if a reporter tries to go into it, you find out like, oh, let's look at the flight list, and then let's look at the owner of the newspaper. It's like Bloomberg or something. You go, oh, so Bloomberg was on the flight. Oh, so I guess I'm not going to cover this issue. Yeah, pretty much is what it boils down to. Is this too far off topic? I don't know. The thing is, America is just a commercial zone. So, kind of the best thing would have been happening for Louis C.K. would be if a girl went up to his room and just pepper sprayed him. and kicked him in the nuts. And I'm not advocating anything, any illegal activity or anything, but it would have taught him a pretty serious lesson: a face full of pepper spray and then a kick in the nuts. It's like, really, he's gonna call the police and say, I just got assaulted. It's like, so what were you doing? What happened? What's the situation? He's probably not going to call the police for that. And even if he does, it would probably go against him. But the thing is, it would teach him a lesson that perversion gets a violent response. And I guess that does sound like a call to action. I guess that is advocating something. The thing is, sometimes you've got to operate outside the four corners of the written document of the legal system, because it just doesn't apply to everything. It's like it was written for a high trust society, and once you don't have that, you're kind of in trouble, where you need people to kind of go outside. This is coming off. It all depends on what the algorithm picks up and like who reports videos and who's listening to videos. But usually left-wing people are just not listening to this video, and they're certainly not getting 10 minutes into it. Anyway, so I understand the whole thing is kind of a game theory system, is that you don't have to interact with Weinstein or Louis C.K. or these types of people. But if you don't, you just don't get the opportunities, which kind of begs the question, why are women even bothering to do comedy in the first place? I'm not saying they should be home pregnant with the kids type of thing, but comedy and chicks is kind of a weird flex. So, I mean, there's just so few that are funny. And there's a lot of like just painful female comedians out there doing stand-up at the lower level. Just, oh, God, it hurts. I mean, there are funny chicks out there, but you're talking like, say guys are 1 out of 100 is legitimately funny. And with chicks, it's more like 1 out of 100,000. But they still get up there, and like, if you're skinny and you've got boobs, you're going to get stage time, and people are going to go, I don't know. I mean, you kind of know what I'm talking about. It's like, it helped the Chelsea Handler, Sarah Silverman, when they were younger, had, rockin' bodies. It's like that helped a lot. Anyway, so what happens in Hollywood is it gets sleazier and sleazier, because the rules of the game are the sexual humiliation ritual, the casting couch. How do you stop a Louis C.K. type? Because he's not just another low-level actor or comedian. He wants some kink, and he's got the ability to help you get on shows. It's kind of a tricksy issue. It's a balancing act, because the women can come out and discuss what he did, which is kind of one of the benefits. I mean, it feels like the whole thing feels dirty. It's like they went up there and then they complained about it, and then. And they're trying to, manipulate to get something. Obviously, they want money, they want attention, they want something. But the whole thing is dirty. Maybe that came out wrong. I mean, it's like they shouldn't have went out there, and it's good that they talked about it, bring some attention to it. But the thing is, if you like the harsh response would be like the first one, the pepper spray and the kick to the nuts. If the first girl did that, man, that would put a damper on him. And the thing is, when any of this kind of stuff happens, it's like you got to go to social media. You got to start talking about it immediately. The thing is, it's like it is two consenting adults, but like, are they really consenting? And it's like, you should have known better. But again, there's no moral standards. The whole situation is kind of messed up. Anyway, obviously, I think feminism is mostly cancer, but this isn't really a feminist issue. I was thinking about the power imbalance, and it's creepy. The whole thing is creepy. It violates the social contract, but they're consenting adults, but they don't have equal bargaining positions. And the other side of the equation is, like, what do the people at the Mary Sue want to have happen to this guy? Should he never get on stage again, never tell stories? He got the Grammy Award, so it means the comedians nominated him for Grammys or music or audio, I guess, of any type. And they're the ones who nominated him. It's like, oh, we're going to strip Weinstein of his awards. Yeah, but I mean, he won them. And you guys were the same ones who were applauding Roman Polanski and Woody Allen. I mean, at this point, figuratively, you kind of have to burn Hollywood down. It's just too sick. And the power of social media now with the Disney thing and the Florida, the no grooming thing, it's the don't say gay bill. Except it's not. And you really shouldn't. If grooming kids is the reason you quit teaching, then, no loss. Is that social media shows people, it gives people the power to start talking about Disney. And, a few years ago, you would have said Disney is too big to fail. And it's huge. It is huge. But the theme parks are a big part of Disney. So if you start cutting attendance down, because Disney had a reputation of being family friendly, and the movies had a reputation, and now they're not. Like, they're clearly not. Disney did a very serious change, and they can't walk it back. So, is it too big to fail? Yeah, it's probably too big to fail. But losing 5 or 10% is going to hurt them. It hurts everyone. It's like it's weird that. No, it's not weird. I was going to say it's weird that they're bending over backwards for like this tiny, tiny group of people, but it's not about money. It's about ideology. This is a religion to them. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys all next episode.